Mark and Amy went to a pop concert. As the final encore echoed through the stadium, Mark couldn't help but feel a surge of euphoria. He'd just witnessed a pop music extravaganza that was unlike anything he'd experienced before. "That concert was an absolute showstopper," he exclaimed to Amy, his voice tinged with excitement. Mark had always been a music aficionado, but there was something about live performances that truly set his soul on fire. "There's an energy and dynamism that you can't replicate in a studio recording," he said, his eyes still gleaming with the afterglow of the show. However, he knew that pop music wasn't everyone's cup of tea. "I get it, some people find it a bit too mainstream or overproduced," he said, acknowledging that musical tastes were as diverse as the colors of the rainbow. "But for me, it's like a sonic feast for the senses, a real head-turner." When it came to choosing songs, Mark's preferences spanned a wide spectrum. "I'm a sucker for catchy melodies and infectious beats," he admitted with a grin. "Give me a tune that's got me tapping my feet, and I'm hooked." He also had a soft spot for soulful ballads, where the raw emotion and heartfelt lyrics resonated with his soul. As they made their way out of the concert venue, Mark couldn't resist offering some musical suggestions to Amy. "If you're ever in the mood for some heartfelt lyrics and soul-stirring melodies, you can't go wrong with a bit of folk or blues," he suggested, using his expert knowledge of various genres. As they walked through the bustling streets, Mark and Amy continued their animated discussion about music. They kept on talking about their favorite singers and bands, weaving their thoughts into a rich tapestry of shared passion. With the memory of the concert still fresh in his mind, Mark knew that he had just experienced a musical masterpiece. The melodies, the energy, and the atmosphere were etched into his memory, leaving him eagerly anticipating the next live performance that would once again transport him to a world of musical enchantment. As they strolled down the bustling street, the echoes of the concert still reverberating in their minds, Mark and Amy continued their animated conversation about music. "You know, Amy," Mark began, "there's just something about a live performance that really hits the spot. It's like the artist pours their heart and soul into every note, and you can feel it in the air." Amy nodded in agreement, her eyes sparkling with shared enthusiasm. "Absolutely, Mark. It's a whole different ball game. The energy from the crowd, the interaction with the artist, it's an experience like no other." "You said it. It's as if the music takes on a life of its own, and you're riding the wave of emotion." As they passed by a quaint cafe, Amy turned to Mark with a playful glint in her eye. "So, Mark, what's your go-to genre when you're in need of a musical pick-me-up?" Mark thought for a moment, considering his eclectic tastes. "Well, I'm a big fan of indie rock. There's an authenticity to it that really speaks to me. It's like they're singing straight from the heart." Amy smiled, appreciating Mark's passion for music. "I couldn't agree more. There's a rawness to indie music that's hard to find elsewhere. It's like a breath of fresh air in the music scene." As they continued their leisurely stroll, they couldn't help but discuss their favorite artists and bands. The conversation flowed effortlessly. As they approached Mark's apartment building, he turned to Amy with a grateful smile. Thanks for sharing this experience with me, Amy. It's not often you find someone who appreciates music on such a deep level. Amy returned the smile, her eyes reflecting the genuine connection they had forged. The pleasure was all mine, Mark. It's not every day you get to have such an enriching conversation about something you love. With a final exchange of heartfelt words, they parted ways, each carrying with them the memory of a night filled with music, laughter, and the joy of shared passions.
Thank you for listening to English Audio Lounge. We hope you have enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more audio stories to improve your listening.